Join us.
A week ago, the city was bustling with life. Today,
ghost town. The only traffic in the city downtown is, in all likelihood, official traffic. Most businesses are closed. Those businesses that would like to open aren't going to have anybody come in to buy anything.
even basic infrastructure is at risk. There are thousands of city workers among the dead and dying. Without them, basic maintenance is not being done. Electricity, phones, transportation, all systems are beginning to break down.
It doesn't take a large number of people to make things work, but it does take some people. And it does take a lot of people when things go wrong. Keep in mind, again, the world doesn't stop because something like this happens. Water mains still break. Power stations still have problems. People are getting drunk, maybe drunker than usual, and are taking out telephone poles or electrical poles.
Thursday morning sees the first real disturbances. Yesterday, the medical community made its most difficult decision. Antibiotics, which can at least fend off the disease, would only be given to those with a good chance of survival. That automatically eliminates most of the sick. Aside from providing them with basic comfort, the sick, who now fill emergency shelters all over the city, are on their own. But in most cases, their families are unwilling to accept that.
If we're talking about my family, if we're talking about my little girl, or if we're talking about my wife, then I might be prepared to do some things which I would never think myself capable of doing. If you tell me, for example, that my son is sick, and I'm sorry we can't give him any treatment for that because, it just won't do any good, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to want to find a way to help him.
The police are now being called out repeatedly as crowds frantically break into any store or building that might still carry antibiotics. They're not finding any. Those stocks have long since been in the hands of the authorities.
Does that mean that there's no other sources? Well, the little old lady lives down the hall. Does she have antibiotics? Was she sick a couple months ago? Does she maybe have some in her medicine cabinet? For that matter, do you have some in your medicine cabinet from when you had that little infection last winter? People are going to start to scrounge. And until such time as the supplies from outside catch up to the demand, there's going to be, at least a black market.
But even the lucky ones who are being treated with antibiotics are not necessarily out of the woods.
The course of treatment, once you begin getting the antibiotics, is pretty long. You are going to be taking those antibiotics for a long time, at least until such time, probably, as you can begin the vaccination treatment. The idea is to prevent the onset of the disease. Antibiotics won't kill it. One of the things about anthrax that's important to remember is this is an incredibly hardy bug. It gets in, and if conditions aren't right, it just waits. It'll just hunker down. So what you're doing with the antibiotics is you are preventing the conditions in which it can establish itself. But what you're really doing is buying time for the vaccination to come.
The Pentagon does have plenty of vaccine. They have been requiring all military personnel to receive the shots for some time. Military transports flow into the city's airports carrying the precious cargo, but it's too late for those already sick. The doctors in the shelters are watching them die by the thousands.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by MCI.
Hi, I'm Michael Jordan.
I'm Elmer Fudd.
Big news. America's going crazy for MCI 5 cents every day. Now it's 5 cents a minute every evening and all weekend long.
Now, a roving reporter. Let's find out how a typical American feels about MCI's 5 cents every day offer.
I'm speechless.
I'm soaked.
Now, Michael, so just call 1-800 every day to join.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
You can't live without water. Can you live without art? The bold look of Kohler.
I wonder if you can fix that
that truck again?
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Friday, she lived in a world of glamour, fashion, beauty, but kept a dangerous secret. How this model flirted with death will leave you breathless on 2020 Friday.
7 days ago, Alec Beckett typed the word magic into City Search and bought a magic kit online. Portland.citysearch.com, the online guide. It's how to get to the good stuff.
Sunday on Town Hall, 1 year after the shooting that shocked the Northwest, what are schools doing to keep our children safe? Will metal detectors, cameras, and ID badges make the grade? School safety, a report card, Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
The power of 2000 takes you back for a moment in time.
It was January 2nd, 1995. The Oregon Ducks playing their first Rose Bowl game in 37 years. They lost to Penn State, but just making it to the granddaddy of them all was a victory that every football fan in Oregon can be proud of.
Channel 2 News, sharing moments in time. Now and into the next millennium to experience the power of 2000.
Proudly brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
It was supposed to be a last-ditch solution. Refrigerator trucks were brought in to be used as temporary morgues. By Thursday, even those aren't enough.
You've used up all the refrigerated trucks. Probably using refrigerated railway cars as well. And those are still coming, and they will continue to come. A lot of people will have difficulty getting their arms around what we are talking about here when we're saying 10, 20,000 people dead. That's everybody in a pretty good sized little ballpark. It's like every one of those seats has a body bag in it. And you have to put that body bag somewhere.
The rail yards are filled, and more refrigerator cars are arriving all the time. Every refrigerator truck that could be found has already been pressed into service. And the city is looking for other refrigeration facilities as well. Some of the bodies have simply been piled up on ice skating rinks, awaiting further disposal. Some bodies, the very early fatalities, were released for burial before the cause of their death was known, but that was a tiny percentage. Earth-moving equipment is now working in earnest on pits for mass burials. And the city is also confronting an even more pressing problem, taking care of the living.
You have not probably had meaningful food delivery in the core of the city for several days by conventional sources. You've had a few commercial vendors who have been provided special assurances, maybe given masks, protective equipment to come in and deliver the material. Again, absolutely necessary? No. From a technical point of view. From a psychological point of view, probably critical. One of the other things that is going on, and it's been going on all week, and it's still going on Thursday, and it's going to be going on for a long time to come, is that everybody is looking over their shoulder. Everybody is wondering, where is it going to come from next? It's going to happen again, right? Is it going to happen here? Is it going to happen there? This is not so much happening in our city, but it's happening in every other city in the country. You have got a very paranoid country on your hands right now.
The one place we now know it did happen is in the subway. The entire system has been closed down since yesterday, when investigators first identified it as the likely site of the attack. Even as investigators explore every inch of track, cleanup crews are right behind them.
The EPA has got rules for operating in hazardous environments, and this would certainly qualify as one. You would have teams wearing spacesuit-style full encapsulation, working those tunnels, decontaminating, spraying every surface, spraying all the cars. Problem is that anthrax is tough. It's an agent that once it gets in the environment, it's pretty difficult to root it all out.
By late Thursday, the steady stream of federal resources into the city is beginning to have an effect.
emergency medical hospitals, military hospitals have been established. You are reaching the point now where assets are beginning to make a dent in the problem. But you are also moving rather inexorably toward the climax. Those people that are not going to get better are not going to get better because the federal government is there. They're not going to magically wave a wand and suddenly have the cure for anthrax. The disease's progression is going to continue.
And that downward spiral has a morbid finality to it. By late Thursday, there are 28,000 sick, over 35,000 dead. The number of dead and the number of sick are now moving in opposite directions. Indeed, the number of sick is decreasing simply because most of them are dying, and they will die soon. In that respect, at least, the worst is over.
People that are not sick 4 or 5 days after the event are probably beginning to believe that they're not at risk anymore, and they're probably right.
As Thursday ends, the city is in a shambles. Those who could got out. Any real commercial or social life has ended. The number of sick and dead has overwhelmed the city's capacity to care for them. The military is doing what it can to keep lifelines open, but the complete horror of what has happened and the sense that it could happen again is just sinking in. It needs to be said again and again, the scenario we have been showing you is fiction. The expectation that it will happen someday is real. When we come back, we'll be joined by our city government.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With Rock, the #1 anti-wrinkle cream in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, Rock's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper, inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. Rock, we keep our promises.
You know, I wonder if you can fix that truck again.
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Hello? Server? Got it.
Total participation, and this means everyone, all working to make sure you get the absolute best experience possible.
Mr. Thurber, you're all set.
Introducing 5-Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks. It's better. We'll prove it. Only where you see these signs.
Looking for a great-tasting fiber therapy that won't produce excess gas? Discover Citracel. Citracel's fiber won't ferment to produce excess gas. And people prefer the taste and texture of Citracel over Metamucil. Get effective relief without excess gas. Get Citracel.
At a time when computer companies were building walls of incompatibility, one company envisioned a world without boundaries. They began by building high-powered workstations. Soon their servers became the backbone of the internet and corporate networks. Today, Sun Microsystems has created technology linking all things electronic. Where do you learn about companies whose brilliance lights the way? Exactly, the NASDAQ stock market.
Coming up.
It's good to see everybody dressed for Black Militant Holiday.
Hey, you got a ball, you got an attitude. I don't want the chicks getting hurt.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher.
Each second brings us closer to the year 2000.
We've all heard the scare stories.
But at Channel 2 News, we're taking a positive look at Y2K.
With stories focusing on new discoveries, technologies, and future trends for work and play.
It's Y2K information you can look forward to.
Join Channel 2 News each week as we count down to the next century, bringing you the hope of a better tomorrow. That's the power of 2000. Channel 2 News, partnering for a brighter future with Standard TV and Appliance.
And we are back once again. Ms. Winslow, emergency preparedness is your business. The one thing that we have not been able to duplicate, even by taking all those pieces of video of real emergencies and stitching them together to create our scenario, is the sense of real panic and hysteria that would probably overtake a city. How do you deal with that?
In California, we've had some small experiences when we've had big earthquakes. Loma Prieta and Northridge disabled portions of cities. And in each case, the most effective mechanism against panic was honest reporting of the extent of the problem and then sensible advice to the public about specific steps that they could take in the next 12, 24, 48 hours. And I think we'd apply that learning to this event as well and try to give the public accurate, honest information. At this point, there's some reassurance we can give that the number of new cases being reported has dropped off and that this is a trend that we would expect to have continue.
Just refresh my memory. In recent years, what was the highest casualty count you ever had from an earthquake?
In the hundreds. I think there were a little over 100 people in Northridge.
So really what we're talking about here is nothing like that. I'm just looking at the numbers again, 28,000 sick, 35,000 dead. The expectation is it'll go to about 50,000 dead. And among those will be police, firemen, electricians, technicians, the very people that Ms. Winslow is talking about. Will the National Guard be able to pick up that slack?
They'll be there to assist. But just like the mayor says, they're there to try to pick up some of the pieces so that some of the basic services can be done. But we've never seen anything even close to this on our own soil. And so I would not be surprised if the disruption continues to be a major problem in our city.
I can't hear it, Mr. Mayor, but I can sense it. Your mind must be reeling right now because you've never had to consider anything even remotely like this. What are you most frightened of? What are you most scared of? As you watch this, what is it that you say, where you say to yourself, I've never even dreamed of this. What am I going to do about that?
I must tell you, other than the death of my own children, I cannot contemplate anything as frightening as this scenario that's been portrayed because, number one, you don't have an answer for the public, which really will demand it. Number two, there is nothing you can do for the sick that inevitably will die after they have been infected by the anthrax. And number three, there is no real sense of the future for the public that will ordinarily expect that there is something that happens good after a tragedy has occurred. I think at this point, prayer. I think you really got to look to not only your medical professionals, but you've got to bring the faith community in. You've got to talk about prayer and healing because you have exceeded the capacity for the city government or for any government at this point to be able to adequately respond to the needs of the public.
I'm assuming you've got a professional police force. You're the commissioner. I'm sure they're terrific men and women. But there comes a point at which people start to say, I got to take care of my own.
Correct.
Again, those pictures we've been looking at sort of show people, some of them still with smiles on their faces. Right. They're moving slowly. They had a night's sleep the night before. Right. What we're really dealing with now as we move well into day 6 of this is people who haven't slept in days.
You have to be aware of that from day one. And you can get 4 or 5 days. I mean, we've done this in policing in the last 30 years of riot situations, 4 or 5 good days. But then you've got to set in motion a plan of scaling back, of giving time off, and it will eventually end. It'll start to tail off. These things do not go on ad infinitum. They've got about 4 or 5 days of real staying power, and then they ease off. Similarly, the police in the same situation.
If I suggested to you that I think your city is going to be empty, I think everybody's going to turn tail and get the hell out of there, would you tend to disagree with me? What is it that's keeping me in this city?
I would not be surprised if most people left. But again, most people will also come back because they have their homes, their belongings, their whole life is part of that city. And
but where's the food coming from? Where's the electricity coming from? Where's the water coming from? Where are the basic services coming from? Where's the telephone system coming from? Where's any of that coming from?
Well, we do have situations, disruptions like that in large floodings and earthquakes. And eventually, people are a lot more resilient than you and I may give them credit for. It's
no, but
amazing.
again, I don't mean to belabor the point. We never had a situation where 50,000 Americans have died in one place in the space of 7 days.
Right.
You've given a lot of thought to this, I know. And what conclusions have you come to? Is it on one level, it almost seems best not to think about it too much.
No, we have to think about it, Ted. I think it's very important that we focus on these issues so that when the time comes that one of these incidents do occur, that we are ready, both at the national, the state, and the local level. But I think the thing that's most important to focus on is the fact that if we have plans in place and we can get in and provide the essential medical services, provide antibiotics, and provide the services that the police department would do to control the city, to keep things under control within the city, we can at least make a dent in this. It's a very difficult situation, Ted. There's no question about it. I don't think that the city would empty out. I think if we relied on the National Guard and if we relied on the military, we could keep the city functioning. And I think we will see people come to work. I think people will try to come together. And I think the city will function, but just barely. We won't have essential services in the way we normally think of.
It will, of course, be the kind of shattering experience that is going to be with the country for years to come. But we are only devoting 1 week to this, and tomorrow we will have the conclusion of our examination of this subject. I'll be back with a program note about that in a moment.
The other day, I'm driving down Broadway when that pastrami on ride catches up with me. Heartburn big time. My passenger says, "Here, take a Zantac 75. I say, "What are you, a doctor?" And he says, "Yeah."
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
A real gentleman, that doctor.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
Mr. Sinclair?
So how is he?
Well, as you know, he's very old, but I think that the hip replacement went well. Of course, he'll have to stay off his feet for several weeks. The best thing he can do right now is rest.
With its worldwide acceptance and high credit limit, Visa Platinum offers purchase power you can really use for those you really love.
Lean on me.
Besides, if he had one, he'd do the same for you.
Channel 2 News, the power of 2000, gives you a powerful start to your business day. Bloomberg, the premier business news network, joins Channel 2 News for unparalleled coverage of the business and financial community.
You no longer need a personal computer to send and receive electronic mail.
Every business morning, see the latest trends and get an up-to-the-minute market report from Wall Street. Get a financial edge with the power of 2000 and the power of Bloomberg Business Reports. Mornings only on Channel 2 News. The Power of 2000 celebrates with breast cancer survivors in hopes of finding a cure.
We're going to run for 3 miles and she doesn't want to talk to me. We'll see at the finish line.
AM Northwest's Rebecca Webb and Helen Raptis join 28,000 other women in downtown Portland in the race to find a cure for breast cancer. It's a walk of a lifetime that saves lives. There is no better way to make friends and build stronger communities now and into the next century.
Connect with needy seniors in your community. Send someone special a Loaves and Fishes mealogram. When you buy one, you'll be serving 3 seniors with a healthy, much-needed meal. Call 736-MEAL for more information and connect with your community.
Perk up your mornings with AM Northwest.
You know the secrets behind Scott Hanley's success. He greets people at the door. We came this morning and he was shirtless.
Helen, you just showed him that tattoo.
See what's brewing weekdays at 9 on AM Northwest.
Our Bio-War series will conclude tomorrow night as the incident winds to a close and the city tries to pick up the pieces. That's our report for tonight. I'm Ted Koppel in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
Chat online with panelist Jerome Howard immediately following this broadcast at 12:05 Eastern Time. And tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 Eastern Time, you can chat with panelist Franny Winslow. Just click on the Nightline link at abcnews.com.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
I'm telling you, Michigan State. We're heading north. But I told these guys we'd take them to Miami, Florida State.
ABC Sports and the Waterboy on Video would like to send you to the Nokia Sugar Bowl to be the honorary Waterboy. Check your local retailer for more details and watch ABC's college football.
I love leather.
Could it be? Wix Furniture's having this great leather sale. Promise me you'll be there.
Dozens of styles.
Rich Corinthian leather.
It's the final days of Wix Furniture's big anniversary sale. Huge savings everywhere, especially leather. 100% genuine leather Italian sofas from just $7.99. Plus put no money down with no monthly payments and no finance charges due for 1 year with a Wix charge.
Leather dress me wild.
Where were you when man reached for the stars? When underdogs made the impossible come true? When we were reminded what liberty really means?
Every day, people are connected by what they see, hear, and feel on television. From the beginning, K2 has created connections with news, local programming, and community partnerships.
K2's connection to you in the next century will go beyond quality programs. It's a commitment to connect with you in new ways.
Giving you access to information beyond what you'd expect from any other local television station.
So wherever you are, we'll create pathways you need to always feel connected.
Because when someone says, "Where were you?" we want you to say, "Watching K2."
K2 Connects, connecting you to your world.
School safety, a report card, Sunday at 6 on Town Hall.
The star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher. Bill's guest tonight, Allie Walker, Nancy Griffin, Daryl Mitchell, and Frank Pastore.
Thank you so much. Well, I know why you're excited. It looks like Donald Trump is going to run for president. Isn't that, I tell you, well, he had closed-door meetings with Jesse Ventura all yesterday. Boy, there's a meeting of the minds, huh? And when he came out, Trump admitted he didn't really want to be president. He just wanted to meet a wrestler who could get his phone number to Sable. The other political news, of course, Al Gore opened his new campaign headquarters in Nashville. You know, he moved out of Washington to Nashville because he's reinventing himself. No, he did open the headquarters. I think he's taking this reinvention thing too far because he showed up today in a wig and a little goatee and calling himself Chris Gaines. That's that Garth Brooks album, Mom. My mother doesn't get all these jokes. UPS, listen to this. Do you hear this? They are going to stop delivering handguns with their ground service. They are taking a stand there, but this is true. They will continue the next day air service for people who absolutely, positively have to kill someone overnight. You know that. Thank you. Oh, please. And finally, did you hear this story over in Germany? You know, they have a CNN over there. I guess they have in most capitals of the world. A nut forced his way onto the air, ranted and raved on live TV. They cut him off after a couple of minutes, but he thought he was still on, and he kept going for like an hour. Of course, if you remember last year, the same thing sadly happened to Magic Johnson. Okay, let's meet our panel. He is a former pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, and his radio show Speak Up airs on 1390 AM and 99.5 FM. Frank Pastore. Frank. Wow. How's it going, Bill? How are you? I see you've stacked the crowd with your supporters, Frank, as good Christians do. He is one of the fine stars of Veronica's Closet, Mondays at 8:30 on Other Channel, Daryl Mitchell. Daryl. Hey. Good to see you in a good mood, Daryl. I guess you dropped the chill. Her new movie, Happy Texas, is getting great reviews in theaters everywhere right now. Allie Walker. Allie. Hey. Finally. A normal opening. And she's a big deal, critically acclaimed, Grammy-winning singer, songwriter. Her new CD right here is the Dust Bowl Symphony, Nancy Griffith. Nancy. How are you? Nice to meet you. Thank you.